Now, what I have is sarcoidosis. In fact, I have stage 4 pulmonary sarcoidosis. Now, I'm not even going to edit this stuff out, guys. As you saw with my last vlog, I was kind of sick, and you're going to notice that I'm doing a lot of heavy breathing and sniffing and gasping for air in between takes. Normally I would actually edit that out, but I think it actually kind of goes with this topic, and you're going to actually see kind of how much I'm suffering right now. Sarcoidosis is an autoimmune disease. It attacks every single part of the body in every single person in every different way depending on its host. Now, when I say its host, I mean the person, human. There are some people who have sarcoidosis of the eyeball. There are some who have it of the skin, there are some who have it in their bones, and then there's people like me who have it in their lungs, which is called pulmonary sarcoidosis. There's level 1, which is light, not so bad. Level 2, which is okay, it's moderate, medium, whatever. Then there's level 3, which is pretty high. And then there's level 4, which is extreme, worst case scenario. And lucky me, I have level 4. I was diagnosed with this 12 years ago, and at the time I became really sick, and I kept going back to the hospital, and no one could understand what was wrong with me. They kept saying, you just have bronchitis, you have pneumonia, here's some amoxicillin, here's some Biaxin, here's some puffers, go home and rest, and it will go away eventually. I went through this for months, and it got progressively worse. I was constantly coughing, hacking up massive amounts of white phlegm. It was one day I went back to the hospital, and I started complaining to this one doctor who I had never seen before. And I said, listen, I've been here like 7 times over the past few months, and I'm freaking out here. I weigh less than 125 pounds. I usually weigh 180 pounds. And I think I'm dying. Like, I really don't know how else to say it. And he said to me, you know what? He goes, I agree. Something's not right. We missed the ball, or we dropped the ball here and missed something. He goes, I'm going to refer you to a respirologist. So he sent me to Peterborough, Ontario, which is not far from where I live. They set me up with this doctor, Dr. Vlashert. And he had his suspicions right off the bat. And he looked at me, he's like, you don't look good, kid. He goes, we're going to run some tests, and I'm going to get back to you tonight. Not tomorrow, not 3 days from now, tonight. Because I'm fearing for your life, and there's something definitely wrong here. So that could have been at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he contacts me at like close to midnight, says, okay, Chad, we got the results from all your testing. You need to come down to Peterborough right now. We need to do an emergency biopsy. They bring me right into the operating room, get me all set up, put me under. I wake up, and for the first time, I remember being able to breathe. My chest didn't feel like somebody was sitting on it. And he was standing there, and he goes, we discovered my suspicions were right. He goes, what you have is sarcoidosis. And then he explained what sarcoidosis was to me. Then he said, what you have is a level 4 sarcoidosis. Your spleen was enlarged. It was about to rupture. Your right kidney was full of calcium, solid. He goes, I'm amazed you didn't have kidney failure at that point. You've developed osteoporosis through this. Your bones have begun to deteriorate in some sort of way. Basically, the sarcoid had gotten into my bloodstream and everything went throughout. And he goes, if you didn't come see me yesterday and we didn't do what we did today, you would have probably died by the end of tomorrow. And that was just like a big, are you kidding me? Like, I just sat there and I was just like, so after that moment, for a whole year, I was in rehab. I was going to see him every single week, doing breathing tests, doing puffers, doing a breathing machine, basically giving my lungs a workout, because they had told me that I was basically lost 17% of my lung function. So anyways, after that year, I made a miraculous recovery. They were quite amazed that I went from 17% to 7% lung function loss. Now, when I say I have lung function loss, the sarcoidosis created lesions, little lines on my lung tissue. And basically what that does, kind of, if you picture a balloon. Now, when you blow a balloon up and then release the air, it has a very elastic kind of movement like this, right? If you were to harden any of that balloon and blow it up, those areas that are hardened would not stretch. They might move a little bit, but the whole thing as a whole will not move equally. So that takes the elasticity away from your breathing. When your lungs function, they suck in air, they push it out. They suck in, push it out. And not just your lung as a whole, but if this is your lung, okay, now see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, these are your lungs, right? These are your lymph nodes. So my palm right here are your lung sacs, right? These are your lymph nodes. The lymph nodes are the channels between your lung sacs and your air sacs. I'm gonna get this wrong, I always do. And your fingernails are the air sacs. And what they do is they're the ones that pump and they push air into your lungs, kind of like bagpipes. So this area right here is the most important area of your lungs. Right now, my scar tissue is on the lung sacs. So as I breathe in, the lung sacs build up, and then they push, and then your lung sacs come out. So I'm not able take as much air in as I need to. Now, here's where things get a little scary. So, for the past 10 years, the disease has been in remission, which means no sign of it whatsoever, which is great. Since May of this year, I've been really sick, constantly sick. And I basically went through the same crap I did 12 years ago, going back and forth to the hospital. And they're like, it's bronchitis, it's pneumonia, it's in your head, it's leftover bronchitis, it's leftover pneumonia. And I guess part of me just didn't want to believe it was back. I wanted to believe it was bronchitis. I wanted it to believe that because the disease has been in remission for the past 10 years and I've been in denial about it. Like, I forgot all about it. I knew I had it, but I didn't let it consume me. A couple months ago, actually, I started taking this much more seriously. And I had to come to terms with it. And I was going through a lot of the issues with my business and a lot of issues with my personal life and struggles in my head. And I had an anxiety attack, depression, freaking out. At which point, I realized I have to stop holding on to this shit. I have to let it go. I have to admit to myself and everyone else around me what I have. I told my friends and family, and my kids. None of them really knew how severe this thing was. They just thought, oh, it's sarcoidosis. It's like arthritis or something. Like, you'll be fine. Didn't tell them I was dying. I've had to come to terms with this, and I'm fine with it now. I went and saw the doctor, and doctor put me on these meds and mild stuff. And at the time I went and saw him 3 weeks ago, I was okay. You know, it's like this for the past few months. You have good days, bad days, good weeks, bad weeks. Then a few days afterwards, I got sick again, and it's gotten really, really bad. Like, I can't even walk from one room to the other without being out of breath. I'm only talking today because I have all these. These are my pills. I have 7 different puffers I have to take. Prednisone, more prednisone, vitamins, and then I have the venlafaxine, which is my anxiety pills. Everything that's in there is keep me alive at this point. Without that, I'd be dead. Everything's kind of under control right now. They put me on the prednisone for a month, so never ever going to the Lindsay Ross Memorial Hospital again, because those people twice now have almost killed me. So from now on, anytime I get sick, I'm just going to Peterborough because they know what this is. And it's pretty bad when I got to go into a hospital and I have to, which is the Lindsay Hospital, and tell these people what sarcoidosis is and what I have. So anyways, long story short, the prednisone creates insomnia. And last night I wasn't able to sleep. So I was up all night thinking, and something dawned on me. And what I came up with is, because I have this photography and the videography and this platform, and I have previous experience with being a director, and I do still have some connections in the industry. What I want to do is dedicate the rest of my life to this disease. I want to dedicate my abilities to do photography and videography, and I'm going to team up with these people I know, and we're going to make a documentary. Because not a lot of people know what this disease is. Not a lot of doctors know what the fuck it is. And there's no cure. They still don't know exactly how it's triggered or where it comes from. And basically, I want to create a Kickstarter program. I want to raise money to help finance this thing. And I want to travel the world with my crew. And I want to meet every specialist, every doctor who knows about this. I want to go learn ancient Chinese medicine, learn things that can help other than modern day medicine. I want to meet with people who have the simplest form to people who are on their deathbed. I want to meet with the people who have lost loved ones to this disease. And I want to put this documentary out there for all of you to see. Because I think that is what I want to contribute to this world. I've always been the kind of person who helps people. Everyone who knows me always calls me Dr. Phil because I've always been the go-to guy. I've always been the one that goes to people's houses, puts my arm around them and says, "You'll be okay. We're going to get through this." You know, that kind of guy. And it's time to take care of me now. And I have 2 beautiful kids. They're teenagers and they're my absolute life. And I don't know if I got a year or 10 years or 30 years. I don't know if this is going to take me out. I don't know if this is, if I'm going to have a lung transplant. Even if I qualify for one, I don't know. But I've had to come to terms with the fact that this is my reality. And I have to accept it, and I have to prepare my kids for this. And if I can make this documentary and use this platform and maybe make another channel for sarcoidosis stuff and use all that content that we don't use in the documentary and put on that and just put all this out there to help anyone who has this disease, or if you have a loved one who has this disease and can learn from what I put out there, then I will have done a great justice in this world. And if I can show my kids if I can show my kids how to be super strong, to let nothing in this world take you out, to not let anything bring you down, to always believe in yourself and never give up. And they can take the tools I've taught them in life and be a better person than I was in this world, then I've done my job as a father and a friend to them. And that is my purpose. That is my purpose in life now, is to dedicate myself to this disease for however long I have left. So I hope you guys will join me. It's going to be a long story and a long journey. Like, this has been a long vlog, and I'm making myself personal. I'm making myself vulnerable for you guys, for everyone. So, that's it, man. Just chillaxing. See ya.